One of the hardest things about healing from spiritual abuse is accepting that two things can be true at the same time. If you are a part of a church or an organization where you had really good times, just as many times that weren't so great, that were damaging and just downright shattering for some of you, it can be hard to accept two things at the same time. For some reason, our brains just don't allow us to compute that in a healthy way. So if you are going through that currently and you're in the process of healing from spiritual abuse, maybe you just left your church, maybe you're thinking about leaving your church, or maybe you are just stuck somewhere in between. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of all the pros and the cons, all the good and the not so good experiences that you had at this church. Also, when you do that, I want you to consider the risk and the reward for why you stayed. What I mean by that is, what did you risk by staying? Was it damaging to your spiritual health? Was it damaging to your mental health? And what was the reward for you staying? Maybe you had a good sense of community. Maybe you felt like you were a part of a family for the first time in your life. Maybe your kids had really good connections with people that they met. Maybe your children were born into that church and that's all they know. On the other side, I want you to list the risks and rewards for actually leaving. When I say the risk of leaving, you may lose that sense of community. You may question where you stand with God if there were some things that maybe were taught that didn't necessarily align with the Word of God and you're still trying to deprogram from that. And what's the reward for you leaving? What are some positives for you considering finding somewhere else to worship? So keep that in mind if you're living in this tension and having a difficult time accepting that two things can be true at the same time. Give yourself grace, process through, and take your time.